Hi, this is Bruce with Big Fish Software again. In this video, I'm going to walk through the Dropbox integration. Dropbox is how we transfer files. You can transfer files back and forth between your iPad and your computer. It's a very nice service that is free. If you don't have enough space and you need need some more space, you can always buy additional space, but they give you quite a bit of free space to transfer your files and to keep files in sync with multiple computers. To access Dropbox, if you go into the settings menu and you come down to the Dropbox setting, now this is what you'll see if you're already connected. To connect to Dropbox, you're going to need to go out and set up a Dropbox account at Dropbox.com. And once you do that, you'll come into this screen and you'll have a connect button up here. And the connect button will allow you to put in the email address and password that you configured with your Dropbox. Once you connect, we keep track of that connection. We keep track of that information in a secure manner so that the app can access that your Dropbox folder again. Now, one of the other security features that we have in the app is that we actually can only access the apps workout for swim coaches folder under Dropbox. So the way that we've set up the security, the model that we're using with Dropbox is that we only have access to this folder. Okay, so we can't go out and get things from other places, and you don't have to worry about the app accessing your other files that you may have in Dropbox. So once you're connected to Dropbox, you see the contents of your Dropbox, and there's three types of files that we basically can store or see from this view. The first is export. So if I've gone out, and let me just go back and select a workout here, and we've seen this in another video, but let's say I go out and export that file. I can choose a Save to Dropbox option here, and when I do that, it gives me an option to import or to specify the file name. So I'm going to call this video demo export. And we're going to use the internal format. And the internal format, basically, it's a format that we write out. We can read that data back in to the program without any loss of features or functionality. You can also choose the Team Manager format if you want to export a file that you can try to import into the Team Manager for workouts. Once again, I don't really recommend this, but if you really want to try to keep the iPad in sync with the Workouts app, you can try to do that. So I'm just going to export an internal file here, or an internal format file, video demo export, and we'll save that. And what has happened is it just wrote that file to my Dropbox. Now if I come back to settings and look at Dropbox, now I see I have two files there. So basically, video demo export. Now let me just show you if we go back here. So this was the workout that I exported. I'm going to delete that. It was 550 yards. I'm going to delete that out. Now it's gone. I can come into my Dropbox, and if I choose the little eye icon here, it lets me import that workout in. So, and it gives me a summary of that workout, and I can actually change it before I import it. But I'm just going to take it as it was and save that. And now go back to the main screen, and you see my workout is back in the system. So that's one way we can use the Dropbox to import workouts that we've exported before. If you do have Team Manager for Workouts and you've been using that for years, you can pull files in from that from Team Manager. So basically, to do that, you go out to the Team Manager program and you export your workouts. Now, I don't have any here, but when you export them, you'll want to export them to that apps workout for swim coaches folder that's associated to your Dropbox. And once you do that, and you do that on your computer, once you've done that, then when you come in here, you'll see those files listed. And you'll be able to select a file just like we did on the internal files, be able to select the file and import that into the system. So that's a way to get your Team Manager workouts into the app. And then the third and probably most important feature of Dropbox is to back up your database. So I click out here. I have a couple of databases or a couple of backups that I've already saved. But periodically you'll want to come out here and choose the backup database option. And I'm just going to say this is a demo backup. And what that does is takes your entire database and exports it out. And as you'll see, it wrote that out to the Dropbox. So very important to back up your database. The program will actually prompt you every 10 days or so if you have not backed up your database. It will when you start it up, it will tell you you haven't backed up in a while, and it will give you the opportunity to do that. So it's very important. I can't stress enough how important it is to back up the database, just in case something happens. You lose your iPad, or you know, if something happens on a reinstall or an upgrade for the system, and you know things no longer load properly, it's always good to have the backup. The other benefit of the backup is you can actually back up your database from the one iPad and maybe restore it on another iPad. So the way to do that is basically the easiest way to do it, I should say, is to share a Dropbox account. So let's say you have 3 coaches on your team, and you have one master iPad that you create all the databases on. If you want to share the workouts that you create on that iPad, you can either export them and send them out to the other coaches, and then they can import them in, or you might want to just create a backup of your database, and then they can go in, and if you use the same Dropbox account, they're going to see the same files. So you could back up on the one iPad and then restore it on the other. So basically, to restore, I can just click on the little eye icon here, and it asks you if you want to restore it, and it warns you it will replace the current database. So you know, make sure that you're not overwriting something that you haven't saved already. But I can restore that, and now that new database has been loaded in, and when I click back on the home screen here, now you see I have different settings because it's using that new database. I come back to my Dropbox and restore my demo backup that I just did. Click back. Now I see my original database. So that's the Dropbox integration. The other thing you can do with Dropbox is save files. So save PDF files, for example. So I can create a PDF and save it to my Dropbox. Now, when I do that, I can't go out and view the PDF from the program. Okay, you notice that on the Dropbox file, I don't have a PDF viewer, but Dropbox has a very nice app that once again is free that you can use to manage your Dropbox on your iPad. So very powerful tool for sharing files and viewing things and all. So I highly recommend you get a Dropbox account and you use the especially the backup feature in the app.